evening! Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Lily and Generoso. I am Generoso.
I'm Lily.
Yes, we know. And we have a wonderful recipe for you this evening that I hope you will enjoy. Spaghetti alla vongole. Vongole, of course, being clams. This is a really fantastic dish. Easy to make. It's a little tiny bit of prep. The actual cooking time is extremely minimal. Let's take a look at what you'll need. First off, you will need some clams. Little tiny beautiful manila clams. And right now we've had them in water for about 20 minutes. It's good that before you start this dish, put your clams in water for at least about an hour. We're going to eventually clean them, of course. I'll show you how, but you want to get that roll starting by having them soak in water for about an hour. Some white wine, some olive oil, salt, pepper, crushed red pepper. We got some beautiful fresh parsley, about 4 cloves of garlic. Most times when you see spaghetti alla vongole, you will actually see it without tomatoes. I actually put a few beautiful cherry tomatoes in it just to kind of like spike it up a tiny bit. I think you'll dig it. Some folks also don't use white wine. I do. That's how it tastes. That's why it's my recipe. And a box of spaghetti. So we're going to do a little tiny bit of prep. Then we're going to show you what we need to do to the clams to get them all beautiful.
But not stinky.
But not stinky. And we'll be right back with the next part. So we did a little tiny bit of prep. Most importantly, we've been soaking our clams. Let's see where we're at now. Lily's been kind enough to mince our garlic. We've cut our cherry tomatoes in half. We've aggressively minced our parsley. We've opened up our bottle of white wine, which we'll be partaking of fairly soon. And fundamentally, we've taken the clams out of the water. Remember, with clams, you don't want to use clams that have already been opened. They will be dirty inside. And remember, everything is going into the sauce, not just the meat of the clam, but the shell. So you want to make sure they're nice and closed. And specifically, you want to drop them inside a pot. Something hard, like this one's open, this isn't going to make the cut. This one's closed, drop it. If it drops and it shatters, then you know that you probably have a tainted clam, and you do not want to cook the tainted clams. We all know this. So we're going to continue to go through these clams, finding the nice closed ones, giving them a little zbabad, as my mother would say, just smashing them, and making sure that they're doing all right. And then we'll step to the next step of our spaghetti alla vongole. So we've steamed our clams. They have mostly all popped open. We're going to take a slotted spoon now, and we're going to transfer these over because we're going to need that liquid. You might be like, but Gene, isn't that filthy, disgusting liquid? And I'm like, no. The liquid does have some filth in it. We're going to do a prep here to kind of show you what the next bit is. So you're going to take your pot as it is, and you want this liquid, but obviously there might still be some residual sand or whatever floating around. So you want to pour this through a paper towel into a bowl. That's going to pick up any of the remaining sand. But you still have this beautiful water, which is going to constitute the bulk of your sauce. Right there. So that's going to be free of all the extra grubbies. And you want that to meet your clams again. We're going to be back with the next part of this in just a moment. Welcome back. So, as you can see, our clams are on the side with their natural juices that have been flowed out. At this moment, the water's boiling. We put some salt in there, and we're going to start our pasta cooking. The frying pan has been warming up over this time period. We're going to add a copious amount of olive oil. Let that warm up for a second. And fundamental, I should mention it, with the spaghetti, you want to make sure that the spaghetti is actually very al dente. More al dente than you would normally do, because we're going to give it a second cook inside the frying pan once the sauce gets going. So we're going to continue to warm that up. We have a Cuisinart that's a little tiny bit tiny, but it is doing a wonderful job. And now that the actual oil is heating up beautifully, we're going to take our garlic, dump it in there. And we're not even going to brown the garlic. We're going to keep it nice and quick. garlic. Throw in some crushed red pepper. Oh dear, that is a lot of red pepper, but not so bad. Give this a little turn.
It'll add a little bit of heat and complexity to the dish.
I think so. That is more than fine. All right, everything's cooking up really nicely. Let's reintroduce our clams with the water. Give that a little stir. While our pasta continues to cook. As you can see, the clams are mostly open. There's a couple of stragglers that are still not, though. They'll eventually get there. And we're going to continue to cook this. And right now it's on a medium flame. One of the things that we're also going to do to create our sauce as this begins to heat up is we're going to add some of the pasta water. Of course, the pasta water is going to have a lot of starch in it. It's a little tiny bit of a thickening agent to the sauce that's actually going on, but we're going to continue to stir while this heats up, and then we're going to add most of our parsley, beautiful parsley, and our cherry tomatoes.
Yum.
Very nice colors happening there.
It smells wonderful.
Thank you, my dearest. Okay. I'll let that cook up a little tiny bit more. About another 5 minutes or so. And we'll be back to show you the next step. We've turned our flame down to about a medium low. As you can see, the colors are mixing together very nicely. We're now going to take some of our pasta water and just one ladle. Add that. And we're also going to put in, think about a half a glass or so of white wine. That's going to give a little boost to what we're having. We're going to let this cook for another couple minutes. The pasta's almost ready to be added to the sauce, and we'll be back with that and plating. So, we've taken out our spaghetti, we've dried it thoroughly. Something that always drives Lily and I nuts is whenever you go out to actually get pasta that it's still a little wet, like make sure your pasta's dry before you drop it in the sauce, people, I beg you. Okay, so we're going to take this off of the heat now, and we're going to progressively add our spaghetti to it. And again, the spaghetti is very al dente, and for a reason, because it's going to sit in this sauce for a little bit. It's going to soften up. So you want to just introduce it, bring in those clams, bring in those beautiful tomatoes, make it. Add more pasta to the mix. Yes, Lily likes her pasta, don't she?
I love pasta.
I know you do, my darling. That's why I'm making this. That's also why we watched the Fabio Testi film last night. For my Lily. We're going to continue to keep this in the pan, adding a little bit more pasta progressively while we stir it in, and we'll be back with plating in just a little tiny bit.